Welcome, everyone. Today we have Francesco back in the kitchen. Welcome back, Francesco. We've really missed you. What's cooking in the kitchen today?
So today we are making BeaverTails, one of the greatest things in Ontario, from Killaloo, Ontario. The best invention, the best dessert that you can have. It's one of the most populars in Ottawa and in Toronto because Killaloo is right in between Toronto, closer to Toronto than Ottawa. It's a really good dessert. Beaver tails are awesome. The thing about beaver tail, they're very seasonal. They're mostly come in the winter, not because you have to go and hunt down the beavers. That is not true. Beaver tail, it is a pastry that you're able to create and fry and put some great seasoning on top. Now, the ingredients are very, very easy. You have a quarter cup of lukewarm water, 5 tablespoons of active yeast. You mix that up, and with a little bit of sugar, let's say about a quarter tablespoon, teaspoon of sugar, mix it up for about 2 to 3 minutes. Make the yeast disappear and kind of activate itself. And then when you do, you add about 1/3 cup of sugar. You add 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 cup of milk, 1 teaspoon of salt. And then you mix that up a little bit just to kind of like spread out that yeast, give it a little bit of nutrients with all the extra liquids. And then you add your 5 cups of all-purpose flour. Now, I have a all-purpose flour. You can use the unbleached flour. So it makes it a little bit more natural, a little bit more better color, a little darker color, which that's what I like. So mix that all up. And you add, sorry, I forgot, 1/3 cup of vegetable oil. Some people do add it, some people don't. It doesn't matter. It's up to you, but I like to add it for that reason. You mix it all up for about 3 minutes in a mixer. You can use an automatic mixer, or you can use your hands and just knead it in for about 7 to 8 minutes. You want it to be really, really well mixed up. Sorry, 1 second. It's going to blow up on me. And then once that's all mixed up, you're going to put it in a bowl that's a little bit of oil and set it aside for about an hour or so. You want it to be all the flavors, all the things to get some nice texture. And you want most of it to be able to get to an elasticity or elastic. How do you say that again? Elasticity, or I guess so, huh? So you're able to stretch the dough. What you do is you take about a golf-sized ball of your dough. So it's about, an inch and a bit, an inch and a half. And then you're able to you can roll it as a sausage just a little bit. And then you kind of stretch it out into an oval piece. Now, it's very, very elasticy. Let me get close to you guys here, to the live streamers. So you want something that's very elasticy, and you're able to stretch it out.
That's
Okay.
cool.
And the good thing about this is that you don't have to cook them all today. It gives you about 20 of these beaver tails around that area, depending on the size of your pot. So you can pre-line them up like this, put on a parchment paper, and then sandwich it up like this, and you can freeze it and you can keep it for the next time. Okay. And then when you take them out, you thaw them for sure, and then you stretch them out a little bit more, and then you put into some vegetable oil in the pan or in the fryer. Now, you want to make sure you don't need a very big, deep pan. This is a very shallow pan. I have about an inch of oil here. And you fry it up until it comes, this one's a little bit hot there, a little bit brown, but you want a nice, even brownish coating on that, okay? So it doesn't take long, like a minute, not even on each side. And the good thing about beaver tail is there's a lot of different recipes. Now, I dip it here in some cinnamon and sugar. You put it in there, mix it up. Okay, so that is the more of the traditional one. Some people might say, oh, that looks like a churro kind of recipe, which is kind of the same, but this is nice and flat and not as thick or heavy as a churro. So it's a little bit lighter pastry. The other good recipe that you can also do is with, one good recipe, let's restart that, is with cinnamon and sugar. You put it in there, mix it up, and this is the regular traditional cinnamon and sugar. Now, there's also a Killaloo, which is one of the original one and one of the most popular one, is you also have it with the lemon. So you have this cinnamon goodness, and then you put some lemon, and you eat it like that. The one that my girls love the most is, of course, same thing. You roll your dough, flatten it out, fry it up, tap it down with a few paper towels. Just take the excess vegetable oil. And one of my girls' favorite is, guess what? Do you know, Chris, what it is? I'll tell you
I
right
do.
now. It's
Killaloo.
hazelnut spread.
What?
Right on the live stream for you guys. I have it
Frank,
on
I
the
want
other
to
camera
see you
too.
spread it.
Oh yeah. Look at me in the eyes. Look at me in the eyes. And that is the hazelnut spread, right? So that is my girl's favorite. And I'm telling you, the good thing about these BeaverTails, there is like chip stands or little restaurants on the side of the street just in time for winter. Because this stuff here, you go get it, it's nice and fresh and warm. You get the hazelnut spread that's leaking everywhere. You're gonna need 30 napkins just to clean yourself. And it's just so much goodness. Now, the good thing about BeaverTails, there's one thing that you must have, of course, it is hot chocolate. Now, talking about hot chocolate in Canada, I think one of the best hot chocolates you can get in Canada is the brand from Tim Hortons. This is the Tim Hortons hot chocolate. Now, Tim Hortons, fun fact, it is a guy who started this coffee shop in, what is it called again? Hamilton, Ontario, which is part of the GTA of Toronto. So now, this is one of the biggest franchise here in Canada. And I lost my my things here. So while I'm cooking another BeaverTail, I'm going to show you a different recipe.
Nostalgia behind the crispy beaver tail with the hot chocolate in the winter. Anybody who hasn't experienced that has to get that under their belt. Like,
right?
Ideally.
When you go skating on the canal, it's a staple.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it.
And I like in my hot chocolate from Tim Hortons is just a little bit of cream for two things. It's just going to make it a little bit more creamier. And also it cools it down just enough for you to enjoy it a little bit earlier. Now, of course, you got to have some nice hot water to make this great hot chocolate. So now I am going to show you in a second the last one, which I think a lot of people don't know, and I do not know what it's called. I think it's the maple spread, right? So I'm going to show you this right now. I'm going to get a plate because I got to make this fancy for you guys.
Maple. Oh.
All right. So you take your BeaverTail, as you saw, it takes only about a minute or so on each side. You dab it down just very, very lightly with some paper towels or any type of absorption of, and then I am going to show you this. So I'm going to get too close to your big camera. This is called maple spread. It is a delicious, beautiful, this is what I used to love when I was little. And you just spread into your maple syrup right there, or the maple spread. Spread it on your BeaverTail.
Deadly.
Like that deliciousness. And you know what, everybody? This is not it. This, you guys are going to freak out right now. And then you take some nice chocolate syrup and you just do a little twirl like this.
Oh, Lord.
Look at that. And good thing about this, I get to eat all of this maybe tonight. I might not sleep tonight, but that's okay.
Frank,
it's totally worth
it. Are
it.
you going to show us the classic Killaloo?
The classic Killaloo? That's what I just showed you. Are you going to
show us the classic Killaloo? Because that's my personal favorite all time.
What is
so
that?
The classic Killaloo is so you got your
cinnamon
sugar
here. With lemon.
You got your cinnamon sugar one that I had done a few seconds ago. And you grab your lemon here. And I'm going to Live stream right there. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
That's the traditional killaloo.
Thank you, Chef Francesco. You've
Thank
knocked
you
it out
very
of the
much,
park
Frank.
again.